Last week, my 16-year-old grandson came to visit, and within the first hour, I realized we were living in completely different worlds. He was speaking in abbreviations I'd never heard, showing me apps I didn't understand, and talking about challenges that seemed foreign to everything I experienced at his age. For a moment, I felt that familiar pang of disconnection that so many grandparents know, the fear that we are becoming irrelevant to the people we love most. But then something beautiful happened. I stopped trying to understand his world and started sharing mine. I told him about the time I got my first job at 14, working in my uncle's hardware store for 75 cents an hour. His eyes lit up as I described learning to work with my hands, the satisfaction of helping customers solve problems, and how that job taught me more about life than any classroom ever did. By the end of the weekend, we weren't just talking. We were connecting across a 50-year age gap in ways that surprised both of us. I learned that despite all the surface differences, young people today are dealing with the same fundamental human experiences we always have. Finding their place in the world, learning who to trust, and figuring out what really matters. Today, I want to share the 5 powerful ways to bridge the generational gap and build genuine connections with younger family members that go far deeper than technology tutorials or awkward small talk. Before we explore these connection strategies, let's take a moment to center ourselves in love and appreciation for the young people in our lives. The generational love heart practice. Sit comfortably and place both hands over your heart. Close your eyes if that feels good to you. Take a slow, deep breath and think of one young person in your life that you love deeply. Maybe it's a grandchild, a niece or nephew, a family friend, or even a young neighbor. As you breathe in, imagine drawing in all the love and hopes you have for this person's future. Feel that love expanding in your chest. As you breathe out, imagine sending that love directly to them, wherever they are right now. Picture it as warm light surrounding them with your care and support. Now breathe in appreciation for their unique gifts, their energy, their perspective that's different from yours. Let yourself feel curious about their world, rather than confused by it. Breathe out acceptance for the ways they're different from how you were at their age. Release any need for them to think, act, or live exactly as you did. Take 3 more breaths, holding both love for who they are and excitement for who they're becoming. Gratitude for young connections. Here's your intergenerational gratitude practice. Think of these 3 gifts from younger generations. One thing a young person has taught you or shown you recently that expanded your perspective. One quality you admire in younger people today that gives you hope for the future. One moment of genuine connection you've had with someone much younger than you. Write these down or hold them in your heart. When we focus on what we can learn from and appreciate about younger generations, we create the foundation for genuine connection rather than judgment or disconnection. Here are 5 powerful strategies for building genuine connections across generations, based on what actually works rather than what we think should work. Strategy number 1. Share stories, not lectures. Young people don't want to be taught lessons, but they're fascinated by real stories from your life. Instead of saying, "You should work harder," tell them about the summer you worked 2 jobs to buy your first car. Instead of lecturing about relationships, share the story of how you met their grandmother or how you handled your first heartbreak. Stories create connection because they reveal your humanity. They show that you were once young, uncertain, and figuring things out too. When my grandson heard about my first job, he didn't hear a lecture about work ethic. He heard an adventure from someone who understands what it's like to be starting out. Strategy number 2. Ask questions instead of giving advice. The fastest way to shut down conversation with a young person is to immediately offer solutions to their problems. Instead, ask genuine questions about their experiences. What's that like for you? How do you handle that? What do you think about when that happens? When my granddaughter complained about social media drama, instead of saying, "in my day," We just talked face to face. I asked, "What's the hardest part about navigating friendships online?" Her answer taught me more about her world than any lecture I could have given. Strategy number 3. Learn their language without trying to speak it. You don't need to start using their slang or downloading their apps, but showing genuine interest in understanding their world creates bridges. Ask them to explain something they're passionate about. Let them teach you something new. The goal isn't to become fluent in their generation. The goal is to show respect for what matters to them. Strategy number 4. Find the universal human experiences. Underneath all the generational differences are timeless human experiences. The desire to belong, the fear of failure, the excitement of falling in love, the pressure to make important decisions. When you focus on these universal themes, age differences become irrelevant. My grandson's stress about choosing a college major is the same feeling I had about choosing a career path, even though our worlds look completely different. When I shared my own uncertainty about life decisions, we connected on the level of shared human experience. Strategy number 5. Be genuinely curious about their perspective. Instead of comparing their experiences to yours, get curious about how their generation approaches life differently. Ask about their values, their hopes, their concerns about the future. You might discover that they're more thoughtful, more globally aware, and more socially conscious than any generation before them. The key is approaching these conversations with genuine curiosity rather than judgment. When you truly want to understand their world, young people will open up in ways that might surprise you. 1. The Experience Translation Project. Take experiences you've lived through that younger generations worry about and translate them into stories of hope. If they're anxious about career choices, share how your career path was nothing like you planned, but led to unexpected satisfaction. If they're worried about relationships, share how you learned what love really means. 2. The Value Demonstration Practice. Instead of telling young people what matters in life, show them through your daily choices and stories. When they see you choosing kindness over being right, prioritizing relationships over possessions, or finding joy in simple moments, they learn more than any lecture could teach. 3. The Future Hope Collection. Share stories that demonstrate human resilience, adaptability, and growth. Young people today face challenges that feel overwhelming. Your stories of overcoming difficulties, adapting to change, and finding unexpected opportunities give them hope that they too can navigate whatever comes their way. This week's Connection Challenge. Reach out to one young person in your life and share a specific story from your past that relates to something they're currently experiencing. Don't give advice. Just share the story and express confidence in their ability to handle their own challenges. Your stories aren't just memories. They're proof that people have always found ways to overcome difficulties, create meaning, and build good lives. When you share these stories with love and respect, you give younger generations both wisdom and hope. Tonight's challenge will strengthen your connection with a younger person in your life. The One Story, One Question Challenge. Choose one young person you'd like to connect with better. Tomorrow, share one brief story from your life that relates to something they're experiencing, and ask one genuine question about their world. For example, if they re-stressed about school, share a story about a challenging time in your education and ask, what's the most interesting thing you're learning right now? If they're dealing with friendship drama, share about a friendship challenge you faced and ask, how do you handle it when friends disagree? If they're worried about the future, share about a time you felt uncertain and ask, what are you most excited about in your future? Keep the story short and make sure your question shows genuine curiosity about their perspective, not judgment about their choices. If you feel comfortable sharing, come to the comments and write, "This week I am connecting with relationship," by sharing about topic and asking about their interest. When you share your intention to connect, you inspire others to reach across generational gaps, and you commit to actually following through. The beautiful thing about this challenge is that both of you will benefit. They'll feel heard and valued, and you'll gain insight into their world that might surprise and delight you. Let's remember the beautiful truths we've discovered about connecting across generations. The gap between generations isn't really about technology or cultural differences. It's about the timeless human need to feel understood, valued, and connected. When you approach younger people with genuine curiosity rather than judgment, magic happens. Your stories and experiences aren't outdated relics. They're treasures that demonstrate human resilience, growth, and the possibility of creating meaningful lives through any circumstances. Young people need these examples more than they need advice. Most importantly, the connections you build with younger generations create a legacy that goes far beyond material inheritance. You're passing on wisdom, hope, and proof that people can overcome challenges and find joy throughout all seasons of life. If this message inspired you to reach across generational lines, please give it a thumbs up and share it with other grandparents, aunts, uncles, or anyone who wants to build stronger connections with younger family members. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we're building a community of people who believe in the power of intergenerational wisdom and love. Share a story about a meaningful connection you've had with someone much younger than you in the comments below. Your example might inspire others to bridge their own generational gaps. Remember, you have decades of wisdom, stories, and perspective that younger generations need to hear. When you share these gifts with love, respect, and genuine curiosity about their world, you create connections that enrich both of your lives. Until next week, keep sharing your stories, asking genuine questions, and building bridges of love across the generations. With deep appreciation for the wisdom you're sharing and the connections you're building. One of the most valuable ways to connect with younger generations is sharing practical financial wisdom in ways that feel helpful rather than preachy. The money stories, not money rules approach. Instead of lecturing young people about saving and budgeting, share stories about your own financial journey, including your mistakes and discoveries. Young people are drowning in financial advice, but starving for real-world examples of how people actually built financial security over time. I learned this lesson when my grandson asked me about buying his first car. Instead of lecturing him about loans and interest rates, I told him about the mistakes I made with my first car purchase and how those mistakes taught me to research, save, and negotiate. He listened to every word because it was a story, not a sermon. My friend Dorothy's breakthrough with her granddaughter. Dorothy's granddaughter was struggling with student loan debt and felt overwhelmed by financial pressure. Instead of offering solutions, Dorothy shared her own story of financial difficulties in her 30s when she was raising 3 children on a tight budget. She told specific stories, how she learned to meal plan to save money, the pride she felt when she paid off her first credit card, the fear she experienced during her husband's job loss, and the small steps she took to build an emergency fund. Her granddaughter didn't just hear advice. She heard proof that financial challenges can be overcome. Now they have regular coffee dates where they share financial goals and celebrate small victories together. Dorothy doesn't manage her granddaughter's money. She shares her experience and offers encouragement. Practical sharing tip. When young family members face financial challenges, share your own money stories rather than giving direct advice. Talk about your first budget and what you learned from it, financial mistakes you made, and how you recovered, the satisfaction of paying off debts or reaching savings goals, how your relationship with money changed over time. Also, consider practical gifts that demonstrate financial principles, matching contributions to their savings goals, teaching them about compound interest through small investments, or showing them how you research major purchases. Remember, the goal isn't to solve their financial problems. The goal is to share wisdom gained through experience and show them that financial stability is achievable through time and consistent effort. Physical activity is a wonderful way to connect across generations. These movements can be done with young family members or while thinking of them with love. The Cross-Generational Energy Movement Series. 1. Young at Heart Arm Reaches. Sit or stand and reach your arms up high and out to the sides, then down low, as if you're trying to high-five people of all different heights. Do this 10 times while thinking of all the young people in your life. This improves shoulder flexibility and symbolizes your openness to connect across age differences. 2. Generational Balance Practice. Stand behind a chair for support and lift one foot slightly off the ground, balancing for 10 seconds. Switch feet and repeat. As you balance, think about how wisdom and energy can support each other across generations. This improves stability and reminds you that connection requires balance from both sides. 3. Heart-Opening Bridge Builder. Sit tall and gently arch your back while opening your arms wide. Then bring your hands back to your heart. Do this 5 times while thinking my heart is open to understanding on the opening motion, and I offer love and wisdom as you bring your hands back. This improves posture and creates emotional openness. 4. Wisdom Walking in Place. March gently in place for 30 seconds, lifting your knees as high as feels comfortable. As you march, imagine you're walking alongside a young person, matching their pace, sharing the journey. This improves circulation and symbolizes walking together through life. 5. Connection Hand Circles. Extend your arms and make gentle circles with your hands. First forward, then backward, 10 times each direction. Imagine you're gathering all the love, wisdom, and energy you want to share with younger generations, then releasing it out into the world. Remember, these movements celebrate your ability to stay active and engaged. You can invite young family members to exercise with you. Physical activity often creates natural conversation opportunities. Listen to your body and modify as needed. The goal is feeling energized for connection. Not perfect performance-led, may show you how to create a simple digital collection of family stories that younger generations will actually want to engage with. Building your family story archive. Step 1. Choose your platform. Use your phone's voice memo app or your computer's basic recording feature. You don't need fancy equipment. Your voice and your stories are what matter. If you're more comfortable writing, use your phone's notes app or a simple document. Step 2. Start with short, specific stories. Instead of trying to record your entire life history, focus on 3 to 5 minute stories about specific moments. Think about the day you got your first job, how you met your spouse, a challenge you overcame in your 20s, a lesson you learned the hard way, a moment of unexpected joy or discovery. Step 3. Include the details that matter. Young people want to know what things actually felt like, not just what happened. Describe how nervous you were, what the place smelled like, what you were thinking, how people dressed. These details bring stories to life. Step 4. Connect past to present. End each story with a simple connection to today. I think about that job whenever I see young people starting their careers, or that experience taught me that setbacks aren't failures, they're redirections. Step 5. Share strategically. Don't overwhelm young family members with all your stories at once. Share one story at a time, maybe in a text message or email with a simple introduction. This reminded me of something that happened to me when I was your age. Step 6. Invite their stories. After sharing a story, ask if they've had similar experiences or what their version of that challenge looks like today. This creates dialogue rather than one-way communication. The beautiful result. Over time, you'll build a collection of stories that preserve your experiences while creating connection points with younger family members. These aren't just memories. They're bridges between generations that show how human experiences connect us across time. The connections you build with younger generations aren't just personally rewarding. They re one of the most important gifts you can give to both the young people in your life and the world they re-inheriting. The Wisdom Bridge Legacy Reflection. Think about this question. What do you most want younger generations to know about life? Love, resilience, and finding meaning that can only be learned through lived experience? Your answer represents decades of hard-won wisdom that younger people desperately need to hear, not as advice they should follow, but as proof that challenges can be overcome and that life can be deeply meaningful even through difficult times. 3 ways to leave a connection legacy.